not on?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the wrong clock. That one's wrong. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
It's one. It's time.
Yep.
So there's a few announcements. Today's community of practice is on what we called secure contacts, but really it's using apps to communicate with families, and it's going to help with organization and privacy. And it's kind of interesting because one of those apps is about phone, one is more about texting, and one encompasses them all. So that's kind of cool. It just worked out that way. So next week, the community of practice on Thursday is college and career readiness. And again, Melody Rogers from Douglas ESD is going to share some curriculum with us that you can use online. So that's exciting. Monday, the 11th, will be on mental health, and Lisa Catherwood will talk about what is mental health, how does stress affect your students, and how is COVID-19 affecting mental health. So we'd like to see you then. On the 14th, we're CIS, and it will be a little different than the last CIS, and I'm not sure of the details of what that's going to be yet, but it should be up there by next week. And as most of you have heard, I think Summer Academy is canceled. It was planned for June 24th and 25th. And in its place, we will be doing a series of community practices on Thursdays from 1 to 2:30. And those dates are June 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. And so it'd be really good for you to get those on your calendar now. So every Thursday, and more will be revealed about what we're going to do with that. I also wanted to, and maybe what I'll do is, I think what we'll do is we'll start the community of practice and do the community of practice. And at the end, I'll put up a flyer about MEGE, the training, and when it is and where it is, and share that after this meeting. So today we're going to have 3 different people share, and Diane Barrett will go first. And then we have Susan Collins and Michelle Markle. And if you have questions or comments, you can put them in the chat, or we'd like you to wait for, like when Diane's done, then we'll take questions. When Susan's done, then we'll take questions. So we're going to wait until each person finishes their presentation. So how's that sound? Okay. I am going to stop this share, and I'm going to ask Diane to take over.
Happy Thursday afternoon, everyone. You can still hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I know about our phone system we've been using here at the high school, well, the school district in Madras. We do currently have the Noctel phone system, and it sounds like you need to go through have an account at least to be able to use this system. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is how it would look if you went into the App Store to get the app for this Noctel Go that pairs with your Noctel phone system. So Noctel Go allows you to take the functionality of your school's phone system on the move with your smartphone while you're protecting your privacy. So the Noctel Go extension is twinned to your main phone so that when one rings, the Noctel works with phone calls, voice messages, and it transfers immediately to your cell phone if you're away from your landline or at your place of business. And the Noctel system blocks your number when the phone message is transferred from your work phone to your personal phone, although they will see an extension where they can reach you if they try to dial. As you can see on this on these screenshots they've provided here, you can see where it'll show the extension. It looks very similar to some of the other screens you may see on your cell phone. Your keypad, you have a place for your favorites, your call history, your contacts. I think this screen right here is an example of favorites. So if you see the little symbol down below that's highlighted in blue, then that's the page you're currently on. And then your keypad, this is just into your settings, this one on the right. So the app is available for download on the Apple or Android app stores. And the Go extensions are currently provided without additional cost to the school district during the closure due to COVID-19. If you already have a Noctel Talk business account with physical devices, then getting started with Noctel is as easy as adding a Go to your account. And it was quite easy for me to get this set up, and it sounded like it was easy for most of the employees in our district to get this set up. The one difficulty I heard they had was it doesn't show your real extension. You get a kind of a pseudo extension, and that confused a few of the staff. But I think it's working well for everyone who has the cell phone. I have also heard of some employees who live in areas where their cellular service is not great, and of course that's going to make it difficult for them. So you're new to Noctel, Noctel Go is an alternative to using a physical handset, such as the Polycom or the VoIP compatible handset. It's the same way you can buy a smartphone but can't place calls with the carrier SIM card installed. You can't receive calls through the Noctel Go without a Noctel Talk account. If you're completely new to Noctel and their services they provide, then you'll need to follow some instructions. I have a couple of other pages I can share with you here as well. And I also wanted to add that it does use your mobile device's wireless carrier connection. If you're connected, and it's available and you're connected. So just make sure you know that it will result in data usage relative to the amount of talk time on your device's Noctel Go extension. And if you're using Noctel Go on a personal device, then Wi-Fi is recommended, so you don't use your data, and it could, just so be aware that it's going to use up your minutes or your data. I have a couple of other pages I wanted to share with you, so bear with me. I'm trying to see around my handset up here. Okay, so this is, as you can see, the address up on the top of the page. This is just one of the help pages they have available, and this particular page provides instruction for directions for how to use the app with your Apple, your iOS settings. This page is a little more information about how, basically what I've already told you, but how it gives you access to use your cell phone while you're on the go. And this page, I already showed you that one. Sorry. This is another page that our tech department shared with me, Noctel Go for Education. And it also shows a couple of screenshots of how this app will appear on your phone when you're using it. So basically, in a nutshell, it's just a really nice app to be able to use when you're privacy is important and you're having conversations with families and students, and you cannot text through it. It sounds like they do not have that feature available yet. And if you have questions about that, and your district wants to sign up for this type of an account, and you're interested if they available in the future, then give them a call. It looks like it's pretty easy to contact them on their customer service account. And as you can see here, they have a lot of information about how it works, how to get started with it. This page right here is how to contact them and get it set up. Like you need to create an initial user account or a business account, and then you log in. And like I said, it was pretty easy to get this downloaded onto my phone and to use it. And they do have settings, so the ringtone sounds different, and I have had it ring through to my cell phone while I'm in my office, and both my office handset and my cell phone ring at the same time. So I think that's about all I have to share. I do have another document available that I created. Let's see, I'm not sure if you can see this one. I have another document I created that I will share so they can put it on the YTP website under resources when they are ready to get that up there. But the document has a lot of information about Q&As and how, just deeper details about how everything works with them. So app usage and interface FAQs, you can see that. So I do have this one available for you all to view when they get it up on the website. So several pages of it. And this is all information you can find on their website as well. I think that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Diane. So next up, and there are several questions people are asking about the schedule, the announcements, and we'll put it back up at the end. There are 2 other apps coming up. So that was Noctel, and Susan Collins going to talk about Remind 101. Diane, did you say if that cost anything, the Noctel? Does it cost? Is it a free app?
The app is free, and it would be, in our case, it would be our district that pays for it. So they already have the Noctel phone system for our district. And right now, the Noctel Go app is available for districts to use free of charge until, I think they may have, I can't remember if they have an exact date set on there, or it's basically until, folks return to work, return to the schools. And I think they said you have to discontinue it or begin paying for it within 30 days after that. So it is in our district with our Noctel phone system, we're charged by the minute for phone calls we make on our handsets. And like I said, the app is free. It's no additional charge to our district right now.
Okay, cool.
Charge to download the app.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Susan Collins.
Hello.
Hi.
So I was asked to present a little bit about Remind, which is a free app for...
Wait, hold on, sorry. Diana, will
Okay.
you stop sharing so I can share your presentation?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out how to do
Good.
Thanks.
There we go, I see it. My phone was blocking it. Did that work?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So Remind is an app. It's a free app for 100 students or participants, and I think 15 classes, but now I'm doubting myself, but it's free for more than enough of what I need to do. So we're just going to do the journalism: who, what, when, where, why, and how. The what is a communication app that can be used on the phone or the computer. And who is it's really popular with educators to keep the adult and student communications safe. There's a record of the communications that the students and parents, and the students and parents don't get your personal contact information. Your students may already have an account with their academic teachers, coaches, or club moderators. A lot of our students use it. A lot of our teachers use it, and I also used it as a Girl Scout leader. So this is what our YTP class roster looks like. We're using it for students that are in school and in follow-up, and they don't need a school email address to access our
Susan?
Remind group.
Which slide are you? I'm
on
seeing-
number 4.
Okay, hold on. Tell me when you want me to click
Yep.
forward.
Sorry.
Okay, here we go. Class roster.
Okay, so this is the class roster. So there's 2 little windows there. The one is like what I would see as far as if I had multiple classes, which class I wanted to look at. You choose which school you're attached to, and then the students, and if there were family members, also it would tell you who's on your list. I think, the important part of this is you don't need a school email to access this. So that's really important for the students that are in follow-up. They don't have a school address, so they can't participate in Google Classroom at our district anyway at the moment. Next slide. So the why is we want to stay in touch with our students, and while they're not in school, that's a lot more challenging. This program makes sure that your student and parents don't have your personal cell phone number. All the communication is recorded, so the administration can see your communication if they decide they needed to go look. And students and parents can choose email or text, so to receive the information, and they can choose both if they want it in both environments. And you can choose which way you want to access it. Next slide. Yeah, so I can also access it on both my phone and my computer. For work, I mostly am using it on my computer. For Girl Scouts, I had it on my phone. So you can decide what works best for you. Next slide. So there's a notifications in your settings. You can choose if you want to get an email notification every time a student replies, if you want to get a text, and if you want a little message to come up on your desktop. The phone option is only, you cannot make phone calls on the free version. And then down at the bottom, message options, you can decide if you want students to be able to reply to your messages. I have that checked, so I can text back and forth. Next slide. One of the nicer features about this program is that you can type a message or create a message whenever you are working, and then schedule it to go out on a later day or time. And you can also set office hours, so you can not be getting messages from students in the middle of the night if you don't want to. And in a perfect world, I would have started a Remind classroom a long time ago, and as soon as students joined YTP or I started working with them, I would have invited them to join so that I could say, hey, we're going on a field trip tomorrow, remember to dress for success. But I didn't do that. So now we're trying to add students now, and we will continue using this after this COVID thing is all over. So how do you do it? The first thing you do is you set up your Remind account at remind.com. And then you're going to set up classes. Then you're going to invite your students. Then you can send group messages and individual messages. So I'm on slide 10 on the how.
Okay. How?
Sorry.
Next.
This is harder.
Creating a class. All right.
Okay, so in order to create a class, you can name it. You can choose what your icon looks
Am I
like
on the
on
right
the
slide?
set. There's not a lot of choices. You're on number 10.
Oh, I can't tell because I have.
Oh, you can't see the numbers. Let me look. I have you memorized so I can see.
Nope. Now I'm on.
That one. That
Yeah,
one.
okay.
How to create a class. Sorry. So it creates you get to choose your class name. If you wanted to have 2 different classes for your YTP students that were in school versus out of school, then it creates a class code for you that's automatic, and you choose your school, and you agree to not message people that are under 13. Yeah, so I think we're ready for the next slide. So on this, on this one is how you would invite your students. So you can download a list with Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, or you can individually input the email addresses, or you can send them a link, which I like to send them a link. And so you could put, the link would tell them how to sign up for the program, and it's pretty easy for them to do. Next slide. So your very first, this is a screen that shows what your first message would look like. For me, I sent a message saying, hey, I'm trying out this app, and asked them how they were doing. And I got a few replies, which was very nice to know that it was working. And then next slide, yesterday, I sent a message to everybody and you, with a link to the music teacher that was created her COVID-19 song. If you haven't seen it already, you need to look it up on YouTube. But I put a link to it and asked the students if they'd heard any good jokes. And they liked the surprise ending of the song. A cool feature is the translate option. So I tried it out with my very basic Spanish, and it looked like it was a pretty good translation to me, and it's automatic. So if you need to translate the message, you can right in the app. And the other thing about the messages is they're geared to be 140 characters like a text. So if you're going on and on, it tells you how many characters you have left, but it doesn't count the link as part of your characters. So next slide. I love their website. They're super user-friendly, lots of help. So you don't have to know how to do everything before you start. You can do it a little bit at a time, and there's lots of help features on the website. So we're just starting to use this, but I'm finding it pretty helpful, and it's an option. That's all, folks.
All right, are there questions? Terry, I think you're muted.
I am sorry. I have a question for you, Susan, from the chat, and thank you so much for sharing. Like you said yesterday when we were talking, like when you have class trips and you're in school with kids, they forget a lot, and you could have texted them all. So this is a tool that you can keep using after. So it is kind of exciting, and it's all text. and that's what most kids do anyway. Okay, when you share the link with students, did you just send the link to the student at their school email, and then the student had the choice of entering their phone number when they signed up, or did you need the student phone number first? That's the question.
No, you can send it to their email and then they can choose. So they can choose. So you can send out something through Google Classroom even, saying, here's the link. Please join my Remind class. And then you get notification when somebody's joined also.
Did you
And-
get approval from your supervisor to use it?
So I didn't specifically ask because our school already uses it. And I did ask if we were using it for a specific student. And so yes and no, the school district already is using it. Lots of classroom teachers. It would, if your school's not already using it, you should double check with your district. But you can also set it up like it's only one-way communication, have to allow the two-way communication. So that may make a difference to your district on whether or not they approve it.
You. Okay. Thank you for doing that. That's exciting.
Sure.
Okay. Michelle, I think you're up.
Okay. And so we had a big, huge, comprehensive phone system, and then we have a texting system. And you know me and my love for Google. So I'm going to talk about Google Voice today, which does texting and phone and email. And it's free. I started using it as an administrator. The district I worked in didn't provide cell phones for admin. And I hated giving out my personal number in a lot of situations and wanted to be able to stay in touch with students and families though. So this just provides a layer of anonymity where you have one device with multiple numbers on it. You don't have to carry two different devices. So I'm gonna share a few screens, hopefully. Why aren't you there? Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so first I'm just going to show you on the internet live kind of how to get yourself to the place of an account. And then I'm going to switch over to a presentation because if I showed you all my live stuff, it would be giving out people's phone numbers and things like that. And we're recording and I just didn't want to do that. So you start by just Googling Google Voice. Like right up here, you put in Google Voice. Oops, that was not necessary. Whatever that thing's called. Oh gosh. I'm moving this down out of my way. Google Voice. Okay, and you get this in your search engine. And you can explore all sorts of things in here. But I'm gonna start at set up Google Voice. And this is for a personal account. You know, always you want to check with your admins and stuff to make sure this is okay. But you can also do an organizational one that I don't know anything about. So what you can do with Google Voice, you can text from your computer or your mobile device. So all of these things interface on both your mobile device, like an iPad or an iPhone or an Android. Probably not a flip phone. I'm not sure. I haven't played with one of those in a while, but also just right on your computer. You can read your voicemail and search through it like email. You can personalize voicemail greetings for family and friends. So I can mark like if I give this number out to family, I can make them family in my contacts You can make international calls at low rates. All the domestic stuff is free. And you can get protected from spam calls, block unwanted callers, and screen calls before answering. So in your settings, those are all things that you can control. I don't know how many of you have called me on my work number, but it makes you say who it is. So if Terry's calling me, she hears ring, 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 and it says, please state your name. And then I pick it up and it says, Terry is calling you in her voice. So if it's spam or somebody that I don't know, then I just ignore them. But it's a nice feature, I think. And here's what you need to have in order to use Google Voice. You do actually have to have a Gmail account. And if you don't, it's pretty easy to set up. You have to have a computer or mobile phone with internet access for sign up. And you have to have a US phone number. So this can't be your only number. It has to link to a different line. And here's a little note. Some VoIP phone numbers, like what Diana just went over, won't allow this linkage. I don't know too much about that, but for instance, if you were thinking, oh, I'm gonna link this to my office number at school and my school district uses VoIP, that might not be possible. Okay. So voice is available in the US only. And if you're outside of the US, you can use the Hangouts feature, which I'll show you a little bit later. Hangouts is, I think most of you guys are learning, it's like Zoom, but on Google. Most of the calls are free. You click this little link and it tells you where it's not free, but most everywhere in the continental United States, I believe, is all free. Okay, there's that. And then here's how to sign up for and get a number. I'm not going to click this because I'm an actual user and it takes you to my account. So I'm going to open a blank page here. Can everybody see this blank page? Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So this part's kind of fun and kind of geeky. You can search by location or by area code. So like if I look at 541, here are all numbers that are available. And you get to select your own phone number. So something easy to remember. The one that I have, which shows it's from, I think, Pennsylvania or something. I wanted the last name Markle in it. I know that that's, I don't know. That was what I was thinking at the time, because I thought it would be easier for families and students to understand. So it spells out Markle too in my email or in my phone number, but it always shows up as Pennsylvania. I didn't actually think about that when I set it up, but learn from me. Probably don't do that. Pick something local. So you just go through here, and if that's not enough, you can show more. If you have a number in mind that you want, you can type it in and search. Like here's my actual work number, 540-627-5532. I'll stop it. Not available because I'm using it, right? But if you have something in mind, you can go ahead and search in there.
And if you pick a number and you don't like it, you can buy it another chance. It's like $1 or something to get a different number, maybe 10. I don't know exactly, but you're not stuck with it permanently, Michelle. You could get an Oregon one.
I thought about that this morning, and then I decided not to do it today during all this because I just saw all of it going really sideways, but I might do that after this. Okay. And then once you sign in, if you don't want to use a number, if you just want to do voice connected to an email, which is actually possible, you hit skip this. Okay, so here I am. I'm in my Markle M UO Gmail account. And this is the platform that it looks like online. You can dial over here and make calls directly from your computer, and it just uses your computing system. This right here gives you calls, messages, voicemail, things like that. I'm going to hop off the internet now and show you what this looks like from my actual account while I'm anonymizing information. So let me switch here really quickly. Okay. All right. Can you guys all see this now? The PDF? All right. So this is going to be posted on our website so that you can see all of the steps that we've just gone through and refer to them. And this is as far as we got. Okay, so here's my actual account when I go in. And you can see this is my work number. And then it gives you your voicemails right here. They're time-stamped, just like in a phone. It says who called. It gives you a written out version of the voicemail that can be read to you. Here is a sample of that. Oh no, this is a text one, but it'll do the same with voicemail. I have my University of Oregon alerts set to come to this phone number and email. And so this is right here. This was an alert from U of O. It came here and, you know, this is what it says. And that's in my archives for as long as I want it. I can also delete it. When I'm in the phone feature, it gives you the call log. And again, it'll say the name. If Terry called me, it'll say Terry Falkenstern. If she left a message, it puts it all in text format, and I can hit play and it'll read it to me. If I want to call her back, I can just hit this little number and call her back. And again, you can keep that for as long as you want or erase them. And then another really cool thing about this is it actually sends all of your text and phone messages to an email address, which is maybe a little bit over the board. But so all of those things that we were talking about also show up right in an inbox. Here's the example of the UO alert. So this was just my homepage of my Gmail account, which I think you guys are all familiar with what that looks like. And right here is that little alert from University of Oregon, which I could keep forever if I want, or I can erase if I want. When I was an administrator, I tended to keep everything because that's what I did, and I haven't yet broken that habit. And then on your mobile device, this is an actual image of my, you guys can't see me, or can you see me?
Yes.
That's when I go into my phone, this is my little screen, my actual home screen.
Okay.
So here's my normal phone that comes on my iPhone right here. My normal messages are up here, right there. Boop, 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 boop. And you download apps to access these other things. So Google Voice is just an additional app. If the Google number is ringing, it alerts and answers through here and keeps all the information here in this app. If it's my normal number, it rings here and keeps everything here. I also wanted to point out that I use Hangouts, and that's just a separate app. Hangouts is a way to video chat, just like we are right now using your Google accounts. So it can be cell phone data based, or it can be internet based. If you're using cellular data, it does use your data. So I have that turned off in my settings so that whenever I'm accessing Google, it's only using the internet. So it's not counting against my text messages. It's not counting against my data.
When that phone rings, does it have the same ring?
It does. I wonder if I can change that. I bet I can, but I'm not sure. I feel like when I was, yes, I know it can have a different ring. I know that I've had that setting before, but right now I don't. Okay, so that's the overview and open to questions.
Let's see if we have any. Doesn't look like there are any chat questions. If anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask the question, they could do that also. It's pretty appealing, Michelle. I mean, I'm like, wow, I should use that because it keeps a record of all those things for you on your computer.
I just always liked that, you know, we all have different work patterns and different work settings, especially right now. But when I was a vice principal is when I set this up, and we would have to, you know, travel to Sherwood, Oregon to supervise a basketball game every Tuesday and Thursday night or something like that, right? And it would, if you didn't have a way to check in and communicate with people anonymously, other than email, which isn't always the best for sensitive topics and stuff, you would be using your personal cell phone number. And I learned really quickly that I just didn't want to do that. And so it was great to just be able to use one device, but stay in communication and feel really safe sharing that number with families and students and whoever needed it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's great. Okay. Anything else? Does anybody have a question or want to add anything? I also wanted to put up the Megay sheet and make an announcement or two before we end this meeting. So let me share. Where is that? Give me a sec. How come I can't find? There we go.
Did I stop sharing? Yeah, I did. Okay, good.
Do you see this or no?
We just see your desktop. We don't see a document.
Wonder why it's not showing. That is so weird. Okay, I'm going to tell you then. It's the Megay training. There's 2 of them, and we'll put this on our website, and it may be already there. Ontario, a 3-day live in-person training, August 11th, 12th, and 13th. That's mostly for your Eastern Oregon folks, and it's 8:30 to 4:30 each day. And the second option is a blended live in-person one and that's October 7th, November 4th, January 6th, and February 3rd. And that is in Astoria, Hillsborough, Salem, and Grants Pass. So anyone who's interested, I believe we have it posted on the website. And just a reminder, everything is posted on the website. And especially now, sometimes we don't always send out community of practice reminders, but you know, every Thursday there's a community of practice. The second Monday of every month, there's a community of practice, and the link is always on the website. Any other announcements? Well, I really want to
I hope everybody's doing okay out there.
Yeah, you're a quiet group today. Interesting. Yeah, and I really appreciate Diana and Susan stepping up and sharing their apps. If you know of any great apps that would help people, we'd love to hear about them. So it's a quiet group. Okay, I think that we are done a little early today. So that's a cool thing. And we're glad you're all here, and it's nice to see everybody. And we can't wait to see you in person again. We miss you. So thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.